Hi, Arcfieldweather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday morning, May 2nd, the beginning of the month of May. And certainly, May could be an active weather month with a lot of severe weather threats, just like March and April. And in fact, we are in a very active weather pattern that will certainly include many severe weather threats, including one later today into tonight right across the heartland. It kind of retools for the same kind of a scenario on Wednesday right across the middle part of the nation. On Tuesday, some of that severe weather threat will shift into the east, maybe a little bit weaker of a form, but nonetheless, we are in an active weather pattern. We'll go over a couple of the reasons why over the next several minutes, but again, this is the forecast map of severe weather probability for later today into tonight by NOAA's Storm Prediction Center, right across the Central Plains here, from northern Texas across Oklahoma into Kansas and eastward into Missouri and northern Arkansas, an enhanced region right here across the central half, northern half of Oklahoma and the southern part of Kansas. Really can have a strong storm anywhere across the Tennessee Valley into the Mississippi Valley region, all the way westward into the Central Plains. And again, this active weather pattern will continue, it looks like, not only for this week, but perhaps next week as well, with multiple threats of severe weather, combination of continuation of cold air outbreaks and all kinds of waves in the upper part of the atmosphere that we'll discuss over the next couple of minutes. Well, let's jump ahead to tomorrow, and this is the forecast map from the Storm Prediction Center. The severe weather threat of today kind of shifts to the east into the Ohio Valley. Weakened somewhat, but nonetheless, watch out for potential strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and evening across the Ohio Valley, maybe even a strong thunderstorm all the way to the mid-Atlantic coastline. Then we go to Wednesday, and it just looks like today. But this is the Wednesday night forecast map. Same area as today, really focused on Oklahoma, northern Texas, all the way in the southern part of Kansas, and again extending east into Missouri and Arkansas. Continuation of the active weather pattern. In this particular case, much of it will fall right across the Central Plains. Well, in terms of the potential for rainfall over the next 5 days, this is from this morning, Monday morning, all the way to Saturday morning. Not surprising with what we just saw there and all the severe weather possibilities across the Central Plains, but a lot of rainfall here over the next 5 days, and really extends from west to east, from the Central Plains all the way into the Mid-Atlantic, northeastern part of the nation. Multiple systems, multiple chances for rain. We had some showers in the overnight hours in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, embedded thunderstorms just clearing the Mid-Atlantic coastline this morning, but there'll be certainly additional chances for rain in the Mid-Atlantic and the northeast U.S. Tuesday night and Wednesday, and again probably Thursday night, Friday into Friday night as this active weather pattern continues. The only place in the country for the most part could be rain-free over the next several days, the southwestern states, this southern half of California across Arizona and New Mexico, maybe even in the northern plains. They'll kind of sneak out a dry period over the next 5 days, but right in the middle of the nation, several inches of rain. And also notice here, Pacific Northwest gets hit by significant rainfall over the next 5 days. Well, let's take a look at last night's operational run of the GFS from 06E, and we're looking at 500 millibar vorticity fields. These are areas of spin in the upper part of the atmosphere, areas of rotation, tend to lead to upward motion, generally just to the east of that vorticity maxima. Upward motion down at the surface that leads to clouds and precipitation. So these are the areas that meteorologists like to focus in on for the potential for weather. In this particular case, rain or perhaps even severe thunderstorms. But look at all the areas of vorticity maxima on the map this morning. Just as we begin the day here on Monday, you have one here over the eastern Great Lakes, another one over the Central Rockies, and yet another one crashing into the west coast of California, Pacific Northwest this morning. This is a very active look, somewhat unusual for the beginning part of May, but again, we certainly can have active weather pattern continuing into the month of May, just like we usually do in April. But let's just move forward kind of rather quickly here. Just wanted to show how we have multiple systems to deal with. Here's that system that's in the middle of the country this morning, moves into the eastern states by midweek. Another strong system out over the central plains here by the time we get to Thursday, and that is going to retool that severe weather threat from this afternoon and tonight in Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas on Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, associated with that next system. We keep moving forward here. Just see just kind of rejuvenation of the active pattern. Here's yet another deep upper level trough moving into the western states over the upcoming week, and this is all the way out to Sunday, Mother's Day, and that just continues to move from west to east. And here we are about a week from now, later next Monday night, a week from now, May 9th, May 10th time frame. Strong system off the eastern seaboard, another strong system out over the Rockies. Very active weather pattern continues right into next week. Well, those waves of energy in the upper part of the atmosphere come one after another, leading to an active weather pattern, an unsettled weather pattern for at least the next 7 to 10 days or so. In addition, we have cold air outbreaks that are continuing. Now, when I talk about cold air outbreaks, I'm talking about relative to normal. We have colder air than normal for the early part of May. Here we are beginning the day on Monday, and watch what happens as we move forward here by tomorrow. A clash in the atmosphere right here showing up with warmer, more humid air off to the east and colder, drier air off to the west. This is as of tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, and this is kind of a continuation of the same pattern we've had for several weeks now, with cold air outbreaks making their way from Canada into the central and eastern part of the nation, even some colder than normal air out across the western part of the nation. Move forward here into the midweek. Here we go again. The midweek, we had that severe weather possibility on Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, right across the heartland again. Here we are by Thursday morning, and here's that clash in the atmosphere with colder than normal air to the west and warmer, more humid air coming out of the Gulf of Mexico into the deep south on Thursday morning here. And we just move forward, and it just kind of repeats itself with these cold air outbreaks. Look at this by the time we get to the middle part of the upcoming weekend, and finally by Sunday morning, Mother's Day, right here we have colder than normal air mass in the northeastern states. Another blast of colder than normal air coming in off the Pacific Ocean, from southwestern Canada into the western part of the nation. No doubt this is setting us up for another active week next week with cold, warm, and cold across the nation from east to west. Again, continuation of cold air outbreaks, and wave after wave in the upper part of the atmosphere will continue this severe weather possibility right into at least the second week of the month of May. Well, let's look at the surface forecast maps from the operational run of the GFS. There are some showers now moving off the New Jersey, New York City coastline, probably out of the area by the middle of the day, certainly by midday. Should be generally rain-free from midday on to the afternoon in places like New Jersey, New York City. Certainly setting up for a nice afternoon today in D.C. and Philadelphia. In the overnight hours, there was a band of showers and embedded thunderstorms that produced some brief downpours. Places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Again, that's pushing off, but more rain is on the way. Here we are, Monday morning. Look at this, cold enough for some snow across portions of the Rockies. And this is that perfect setup with cold, dry air to the north and west, increasingly warm and humid air. Just watch the wind flow, and we've had this repeat over this several times over the last few weeks here. Warmer, more humid air pumping out of the Gulf of Mexico into the Mississippi Valley, the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, and colder, drier air flowing in from the north and west, from Canada into the central U.S., and it sets us up for that clash of atmosphere right here. Again, watch out for severe thunderstorm possibility, maybe some isolated tornadoes later today into tonight across the Central Plains. The focus on northern Texas, Oklahoma, southern Kansas. Let's move forward here and just see this pattern repeating itself by tomorrow afternoon. That severe weather threat kind of shifts eastward into the Ohio Valley, perhaps not quite as strong of a threat as what we'll experience later today, but nonetheless watch out for strong to potentially severe thunderstorms later tomorrow into tomorrow night across the Ohio Valley. That rain moves into the mid-Atlantic region Tuesday night into the day on Wednesday, and here we go. We just repeat the pattern later on Wednesday. Here we go again with colder air, supportive of some snow in the Rockies, pushing into the middle part of the nation on Wednesday. Warm, humid air pumping out of the Gulf of Mexico, again setting the stage for another severe weather outbreak possibility Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, right in the heartland. And again, we talked about this a while ago. This active weather pattern will continue. Another big storm system moves into the Pacific Northwest by the time we get to the early part of the weekend, and that just continues to cross the nation. Here we are by Sunday morning, Mother's Day, and look at this, the same kind of a pattern again, with winds flowing out of the Gulf of Mexico right into the Mississippi Valley. Colder air, supportive of snow at some of the higher elevations of the central and northern Rockies. By the time we get to Sunday, we're talking 6 days ahead. We could squeeze out a decent day across the mid-Atlantic region on Sunday. A little too early to say. This particular storm system looks like it'll slow down, maybe come to a screeching halt by sometime over the upcoming weekend off the eastern seaboard. We'll have to watch that. But certainly an active weather pattern continues not only throughout this week and upcoming weekend, but looks likely active weather pattern right into at least the second week of the month of May. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.